Rattler Vlog, episode 62, Derek Timchyna. Men's basketball, number 12. I think 3 seasons? Maybe 2, but I think 3. Around the 2008 to 2010 or 11 era for men's basketball. So that was an exciting era. That was right around the start of my time with the college, but I remember this guy very well, and they had a couple of really exciting teams around that era. So excited to talk to Derek. It has been a very, very long time, over a decade, since we've seen this guy. So we'll see what he's up to these days and what he's got to say. It's taken a while for anyone to join in here. What is going on? By the way, guys, what did you think of election night last night? I know. That is a powder keg of a conversation. I know. Any thoughts on that? Leave that in the comments below. Duelit MH. I believe that's either Corey or Dale. Hope you're having a great night. Thanks for watching here tonight. Johnny Keohane. Garen something. I only got like a few letters there, so I don't know what that says. But we're waiting for Derek Timchyna to join in. And we got some questions. There he is. Let's get reacquainted with Derek. Hey, hey.
We made it.
There he is. Let me adjust here and get my face kind of squared up a little bit
Yeah.
there. All right.
How you been? How you been?
Good. How are you? I think it's been about a decade since I've seen this guy.
Getting close. I guess graduation would have been 2012, so working on 8, 9 years
Okay.
now.
Well, you look a little different. The hair's a bit longer.
Yeah, well, rocking the long hair. It's
Couple of
not
wrinkles.
not blonde, few wrinkles. Kids will give you that for sure.
Still got all the hair, though?
Oh yeah, we're full.
Oh, look at that.
We're full. I'm gonna
Wow.
ride it for a long time. I plan on
There you go.
keeping it till it's silver fox.
You got good hair genes
Got lucky.
and a Movember mustache.
Yeah, it's
Or
kind
is
of
that
it's kind of in and out all year. September, October, November are pretty blurry for me time wise, so it just gets shaved when it gets to it, and then when it's November, it sticks around till the end of the month.
all right, Derek? We've got a number of questions here, but you know what? I may throw them all away. It doesn't even matter if I prepared questions. We'll see where this goes. But first of all, tell me a little bit about your last name. Aside from you, I've never seen that before. What is the ancestry there? And tell me a bit about that.
That's it's actually pretty interesting. I don't know a whole lot about it myself, to be honest. I don't know what the original name was. It's originally Polish. So I'm told, and it was changed during the war when a few of my descendants came across the pond over to Canada, kind of skipped the draft and changed their last names and showed up, and now we're Timchynas.
That's it.
That's
And
it.
probably the only Timchyna in Canada. You could look through every phone book, and I'm sure you'd only find them. Like, is the Cranbrook area home for you?
Cranbrook's home, but the majority of my family on my dad's side is from like Coleman and Blairmore, just
Okay,
just on the other side of the Alberta border there.
good.
But yeah, that's where you probably find most of them are scattered out through a little bit out through Alberta now.
Yeah.
But there's not a whole lot, I don't think.
Do you follow much of that Polish ancestry? Do you kind of are you proud of that? Do you learn more the cooking, the culture, the everything? Is that something important to you?
Uh, Honestly, most from like cooking culture stuff comes from my mom's side. My Oma is from Yugoslavia. I think originally is what she said, but I'm pretty sure it was more like Croatian.
Okay.
Because when I was in Croatia, it reminded me of all of her cooking and whatnot. So I don't do much cooking myself, but my wife, she likes to do most of the cooking, and her grandparents do a good borscht and pierogies, and keep it on that side for that.
Talking my language right there. I
Yeah,
love
there
it.
you go.
I
You
love it.
can't beat a good borscht and pierogies.
That's right. So you took the paramedic program here at Medicine College, which you did for a few years after you
Yep.
graduated. What are some of the memorable uh, calls or patients that you helped out, or like what were some of the really memorable things about that era when that was your career?
Um, my hat's off to the people that do that for a long time. Number one. Number two, memorable for me is there's a lot of good people that work in that workforce, and I honestly just wasn't cut out for it long term. Those guys carry a lot of stress. They do a lot of good things for the communities, and they don't get enough credit, I don't think, for what they do. Um, Highlights, memories for me. A little bit more than I
Oh,
did, because I like to help people and do that kind of thing, be hands on. But it actually was, and it ended up being harder than I thought because of the person, like the personability aspect of it. So, not a whole lot of good memories when it comes to that, and that's why I don't do it anymore, to be honest.
wow. Hey, it's good though. I mean, hey, you know what? All of our career paths go different ways, and
Oh
there's
yeah,
unexpected turns in the road. And I mean, now you build roads, from what I understand, or you treat
I'm a
roads or that sort of thing.
I'm
So,
I'm your classic millennial, I guess. Like go to school, become a paramedic, work at it. Kind of transferred into health and safety a little bit. Worked at health and safety in the at the coal mines in the Elk Valley, and then did some construction for a while. Flip flopped around, went traveling, did some bartending, and then met my wife, and that kind of solidified some settle down time. And had an opportunity with my father to start a business, and yeah, kind of hit the ground running. And we're
yeah.
fairly well established now over the last couple of years. And yeah, mostly road maintenance, de-icing, and dust control is the main things that we do.
Awesome. That's exciting. That's good. So you went to work at the tech mine in Strathmore? No, not Strathmore, in Sparwood.
Sparwood.
Is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
So what I can't even imagine what that was like. How deep into the mine did you ever go?
Oh, we're all open pit, so it was no underground
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
But underground wise in Kimberley, there's a tech mine. I was lucky enough to do the mine rescue stuff with my paramedic background. So with mine rescue, we did a lot of underground training. Went to the underground mines and went way under, and that's a freaky life, the underground stuff. The above ground stuff's a little different, but just big, deep caverns, driving around trucks that weigh like 1.1 million pounds and
Hmm.
are bigger than a two-story house. And it's pretty mind-boggling, the things that get done out there and how quickly you can
Yep.
move mountains, so to speak.
And dangerous too. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that could be one of the reasons why you got out of the whole paramedic and kind of that type of work, right? I mean, it's one of the most dangerous jobs out there.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, I did a lot of, I worked in the pit, so I ran some equipment there. And I also then transferred into health and safety, which was a nice transition with the paramedic stuff. And with that, I did a lot of the mine rescue. So I really enjoyed like the high ankle rope rescue, and we did avalanche stuff, and you name it. I just liked how broad it was, from extrication to you name it. Yeah, it's pretty high intensity for the most part when something happens, and pretty low intensity for the 99% of the time, which is what they like out there, obviously.
That's right. All right,
Yeah.
let's talk about your time with men's basketball here. I'm going to give you a few names and just tell me a couple of memories that you have from these guys. Colby Bliss.
Colby Bliss, my man. I haven't talked to him in so long. Uh, Colby was there for all 4 years of my life at Medicine Hat, and he was honestly one of the quietest, nicest, did not look like he had anything going when the basketball world, and then all of a sudden he would just show up and shock you with 35, 40 points like it was nothing. Yeah,
Now,
he was a serious player.
now let me tell you, in lining you up for this interview, uh, I'll be honest with you. I've been looking for him online for many, many years,
Never
and
find him.
he has completely vanished off the internet. He's vanished
I
off
love
of all
it.
social media. Like, I'll be honest, is he even alive?
Oh, I'll guarantee he's down in Montana just farming away, doing his thing.
How do
Uh,
you how do you disappear off the internet in 2020? Like, it is absolutely, you do a Google search and nothing comes up from that guy after 2008.
That's Kobe, man. Like he was like that even in college. He was just quiet to himself, and then he would just blow up on the basketball court, like anything you've ever seen. He could shoot the lights out, dribble, play defense. Um, but I told him when he left to try and stay in touch, and he just kind of smiled and nodded, and I knew at that point we were kind of on our separate paths, and
Wow.
he was heading back down south, and he was happy with his career up here, and I know that he's definitely down south, like I said, running a tractor, doing his engineer thing, living on a
Mhm.
farm somewhere down in Montana.
Well, if anybody is watching this and you have any way to reach out to him, get a hold of me and let me know because we got to get him on a Rattler vlog because I'd imagine that he'd be a fascinating guy to talk to if we can get him to open up at all. You
Oh
know,
yeah, he's quiet, but he would be into it. He's always been a good sport, Kobe.
good, good, good.
I'll do what I can for you, but yeah, I'm not much on social media myself anymore, so
Okay,
might be a shot in the dark. We'll have to go
Naren
looking for him.
Duncan. Naren Duncan.
Ooh, big gentle fly.
Is he the guy that smashed the backboard?
Absolutely. I still got glass from that. That should have been my show and tell. Damn it. Where is that?
Because because we're looking for somewhere to send the bill.
Yeah, no doubt. Still, we had to replay that game. That was honestly the craziest 14 seconds probably of my career.
I think
Uh,
it's. I mean, it is still on YouTube right now, and yeah, it was like 13 or 14 seconds into the game.
yeah, Naren took the tip, tipped it back, kind of went back to the baseline. Ran back, grabbed the ball, pushed up the floor right away. That was the game plan during that game was to just push it down State's throat. And we pushed the ball up. I outletted it to Jamar, and Jamar hit Naren and low block, and he just drop step and boom. But yeah,
What
I
a
still got
moment!
glass. Yeah, I still got glass from that somewhere. I think it might be in
you
my
were
truck.
you were on the court when that happened for you. You were
Yeah,
right there. You were. Oh
yeah,
wow.
it was wild. It was loud too. I was surprised.
Yep.
It was quite loud. Yeah.
Uh,
And Naren, I hope he's doing well too. I haven't talked to Naren in a while either, but he was
yeah.
always a gentle giant.
David Kohler.
Dave Kohler, a man
He's
from
the
out
big man,
east.
right? He was.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was 6'11", I think. Could shoot the ball really well. Yeah, good memories. It's pretty easy to keep tabs on people nowadays with social media and
Yeah.
whatnot, but I haven't talked to Kohler either. But like I said, with Facebook and whatever, you can kind of keep tabs on people without really communicating, and it's kind of the way of the world now. But
Yeah.
big man D Kohler, yeah, he could shoot the ball too for a 6'11". I was really excited when he showed up.
Final guy. And I think he actually could be watching right now. He watches a lot of these. Kevin Larson.
Kevin Larson and I spent a lot of time together. Um, yeah, we were in the same program together. Um, Played ball together, obviously, went to school together. Did everything but live together, essentially.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, good guy, good role model, always a great DD.
And now an ACAC official.
Really?
Yes, he's ACAC basketball ref based out of Lethbridge.
Oh man, I got to get a hold of some of the players just to start ripping him because he used to get into it with the refs, man. I hope he's getting it back tenfold.
Yeah. So hey, of all the schools in Alberta, how did you end up coming to Medicine Hat and being a part of the program here?
Um, Honestly, my grade 12 year was kind of wishy-washy in high school. Grade 10 and 11, I was working on a few schools in BC and looking more of the CIS direction. And then after grade 12, I just decided, hey, I wanted to not sit on a bench for 2 years and do that kind of thing, and decided to test the waters with a few colleges. Had an invite to the camp at Medicine Hat to come try out. Just came for tryouts. Tim Martins was the coach at the time. Um, and yeah, he liked what he saw, sat down with me and just kind of laid it on the line of what he could do and what he could see where my future was. And after that, I went to a few other camps, and it just seemed like a good fit.
Hmm.
I honestly don't really know. It just seemed like a good fit.
Yeah.
Had a really good camp, so that helps obviously.
Yeah. So what was the living arrangement like here? Did you live on res, and was that kind of your first experience being on your own and the independent lifestyle? How did you get
Yeah.
adjusted to that?
Oh man, I was fresh out of high school. Cried when my mom left. You better believe it. Yeah, lived in res for 2 years, I think.
Okay.
Uh, Maybe it was either my second or my third year. Had some subpar roommates, which one of them was my best friend, still a good friend of mine today. He lives in town in Cranbrook, Connor. But they were a little much for me at that point in time for a third year guy or a 2 year guy, being up all night and whatnot. So I moved out at that point, moved into a townhouse across town a little bit, and then my last year I actually lived with Ben Julius, the coach, in his basement there. So I kind
Ah,
of,
you were here for the Ben Julius days.
you betcha, yeah,
Ah, that was an
yeah.
interesting era of Rattler basketball, wasn't it? That guy, I've never seen a coach get more fired up in a game, and it got him in a lot of trouble. Eventually, I think it kind of got him fired. I don't know, but it's just
Yeah,
that guy had a
it
level
could.
of intensity that I don't think I've ever seen in any other coach.
Yeah, I think he took a lot of downfall for that, and I think it was a really good quality. He just didn't know how to handle it at the time.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, he had a lot of passion, a lot of desire, was a really smart guy. Um, just couldn't quite put all the puzzle pieces together at that time. We had some trouble with some guys with school and whatnot, but
Hmm.
yeah, good times too. I don't have a single bad memory coming out of Medicine Hat. We had some serious ups and downs for my 4 years that I was there, but
Hmm.
yeah, no bad memories.
So now, one of your big passions in life is the outdoors and hunting and conservation and so on. Any big trips planned for the fall, or tell me a little bit about that passion of yours for hunting and being outdoors.
Yeah, so living in Cranbrook, we live in the heart of the Rockies here, and we don't have a lot of people here, so there's no basketball programs. There's not a lot of men's league for anything really, but hockey, and I haven't played hockey in a long time. So when I was younger, before I went to college, I did a lot of hunting with my dad, a lot of fishing, lots of outdoor stuff. And when I came back, I kind of just molded right back into that lifestyle, and now I really just I'm passionate about sheep hunting, sheep and goat hunting, which is I think probably the hardest that you can do, physically and mentally. Um, so yeah, I mean that's my passion. It keeps me in good shape, keeps my mind sound, and I mean my wife gets a little frustrated because I'm away from home a little too much probably, but spend a
Okay.
little too much money on gear. But no, that's what it is. I went to the Yukon this year for a 10-day Dall sheep hunt,
Wow.
which was fantastic. I was lucky enough to take one on the third day. And right now in November, I got a good friend that's got a goat tag around Cranbrook as well. So we're doing some late season goat hunting, which is pretty intense.
That's
Pretty
amazing.
intense, yeah. Yeah,
You have
two,
to go
three.
fairly high up. You have to go high up the mountain. They're at higher elevations, right?
Yeah, goats are crazy, man. I don't know what they're thinking, but they don't migrate at all. So
No.
they come to some south faces, and the steeper the mountain, the better. If it's steep, the snow can't stay there, right? So they just
Yeah.
live up in the cliffs in the back of nowhere. So yeah, we're snowshoeing in 2, 3 feet of snow to get back to where they are, and then we're wearing crampons, which are basically ice picks on your feet to get up to them. And yeah, it's pretty intense. The last time we were there was a couple days ago, and like 4 avalanches got started while we were in there, so we just backed out. Like, okay,
Unbelievable.
we got to go. Yeah, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's high intensity. It's competitive with yourself, and it fills the void for sure of not competing in athletics.
What is the smartest, most astute, most intelligent game that you've ever kind of had a chance to go after?
Oh, myself, I would say elk probably.
Really?
Uh,
Okay.
yeah, elk's only detriment is when they're in their mating season, they'll bugle and stuff, right? So they'll give away their location, and you
Hmm.
can call them and call them in and stuff. But when it comes specifically down to like senses, so like sight, smell, hearing, all three of those on an elk are top notch. Whereas you get into some of these mountain animals and they just feel really safe in their environment. So like a goat, for example, they can see you, and if they're up in the cliffs, they think they're safe because that's their safe zone, right? Like bears aren't getting them there, cougars aren't getting them there. Whereas elk are kind of they're gamey, especially around here. We got a lot of hunting pressure, and yeah, they're gamey. You got to do everything right.
Your Instagram, it's like an animal museum. It's amazing. You've been on an African safari hunt. Some of the
Yeah.
pictures there, absolutely incredible. Do you get any backlash though for posting the pictures online? Because that is the thing these days. Do you ever hear about that, or do you
Oh
care?
yeah.
Do you care?
You see it all the time. Honestly, I stay away from a lot of it. I'm some people will post pictures and they feel the need to try and change people's minds about certain things, and I commend them for that. I just don't have the time for it, and nor do I think that people that are making some of those comments and saying some of those harsh reality of things are just people that are a little bit uneducated on the fact that hunting is a big player in conservation, and it's a big player in why we even have these animals here in the first place, and that they're still around and not extinct. And a big player in that is hunting. And if they're too ignorant to take the time to really learn about it and whatnot, I just simply delete the comments, because their voice isn't very loud if it's not being heard. So
Somebody named Shelby says, "Haha, you should see our house."
that's probably my wife.
I think it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, it probably is.
that'd be her. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, Shelby, thanks for lending us Derek for a few minutes here tonight. Once again, Derek Timchyna joining us, number 12, men's basketball. How many years now were you with the team here?
4.
4 seasons. All right. Let's do our show and tell segment. I gave you a little heads up that we're going to do this. Sometimes I give a heads up. Sometimes I just say, find something around you, but something interesting or quirky or weird or just something that's got sentimental value. I turn it over to you for our show and tell segment.
Well, while we're on the topic, we might as well learn a little bit about it. So, sheep are pretty cool. This is the doll sheep that I killed this year. He's pretty old. Can I flip this camera around?
I think so.
Flip
Yeah.
it.
Well, maybe
But
not. I
anyway,
don't know if
sheep
there's a
are
thing or
cool. I don't know
not.
how well you can see that. They're pretty interesting animals. I like them the most because you can actually tell through their growth rings. So these deep rings right here that you can see, each time they have a growth ring, it signifies when they've stopped growing. So they actually get a growth ring. And then if you look at the back of their horns, you can actually tell through their lifetime kind of what they've been through, what they've gone through. You can tell on growth years if they've gotten a lot of growth means they probably had a good winter. If they didn't have a lot of growth, maybe they injured themselves. The back of the horns will get all busted up, which means they're probably fighting for dominance and stuff like that. So the older the better. That round was 12, which is pretty well top end of their lifespan.
How do they not get concussions? That's what I'd like to know. Or maybe they do.
Yeah, they got this. I can't even remember what it's called, but basically, right at the base of their horns on the back of their neck is like this huge wad of fat. Basically, is what it is. So it's
Okay.
cartilage and connective tissue and whatnot, and it basically protects their spine and their brain from when they're actually clashing and butting heads.
There you go. A little evolutionary thing
There's the answer.
that helps them out right there. I love that. All right, Derek, thank you so much for your time. All the best. Thanks for joining us today. I'm actually on air in Cranbrook on B104, so if you ever feel like tuning in,
Are you?
yes, I am. Every
Wow.
day, 10 to 2.
There you go.
All right. Suggestion for a future Rattler vlog. I mean, I would say Colby Bliss, but good luck finding that guy. Give me someone else during your playing time, or maybe a coach, or just anybody that you think would be a fascinating interview.
A fascinating interview. That's a tough one off the top of my head, but I know a couple guys are living some pretty good lives still that would be pretty interesting to talk to, like a Justin Lee or a Stu Moffat or, yeah, I mean, those two guys are great to talk to. I know they're living pretty interesting lives still, and I'm sure some people will be pretty interested where they're at and what they're up to.
Sounds good. Well, hey, listen, if you wouldn't mind DMing us their phone number if you have them, if you're in touch with them, we would love
Yep,
that. Some of these guys from that era are tough to get a hold of. You were actually pretty easy to get a hold of, but I know a lot of them aren't. So
no
we would
problem.
uh, we would totally appreciate that. All right, Derek, all the best to you and your family. You got a little boy now, is that right?
I got a 3-year-old son and a 1-year-old daughter. Yeah.
Ah, beautiful little family. Congratulations.
Yeah, nice and busy.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. We appreciate it. All the best, my friend.
Thanks, KJ. Take care.
All right, take care. All right.
Bye bye.
There he goes. Derek Timchyna, what an interesting guy. Great talking to him, and nice to relive some of the memories of back in the day in his era of men's basketball. So, on behalf of Derek, thanks for watching tonight. I think we're taking the rest of the week off, but we'll be back next week. If you're a student athlete or an alumni, and we have not approached you, we would love to get you on. And if we have asked you, and you've chickened out, it is nothing to be scared of. We just have a fun little conversation. It's no big deal. It's easy. Anybody can do it. All right, again, on behalf of Derek, have a great night. We'll see you next time on Rattler Vlog.